Morning everyone, welcome back to the shed for this week's news desk. We start with the release of the first image of Kinetic's new Harrier T.2. My Facebook page this morning was alive with people sending me messages and little updates on this photograph. Can't imagine why anybody thinks I would be remotely interested in a two-seat Harrier, but there we go. So it came through. Really pleased to finally see the image of this thing. Obviously based on their previous two first generation Harriers, the F-14 Harrier and also the FRS-1. This kit looks like it will replicate the T2 version of this with pointy nose. No news yet on whether or not it's likely to also include parts for either the pointed nose or the laser nosed T4 version. That would include a certain degree of change in terms of parts, tail, also nose section, and some detail changes above the fuselage, I believe. But I think the rest of the kit is probably going to just be based on those two earlier kits. Obviously wings, tailplanes, jet pipes, undercarriage, all of that kind of thing will all be the same. Fuselage, cockpit, canopy and that kind of thing will be different. Also no news on what markings will be included in the kit. Possibilities for some cool schemes in there, I would guess. Certainly some squadron aircraft from Royal Air Force, maybe Royal Thai Air Force as well, and also maybe one of the earlier aircraft, maybe GVTOL in one of its numerous schemes. Who knows? Look forward to seeing what that looks like when it finally arrives. Building a 24 scale one of these aircraft, I'm eager to see what it looks like in 48. Sabot Publications have sent us some information as well. Chris Morosco contacted me this morning about two new books that have been published by them on the M60A2. There's volumes 1 and 2 on this vehicle. Many of you will know what the M60A2 is, version of the M60, armed with a 152mm gun that could fire either standard ammunition or the Shillelagh anti-tank missile system. Very cool looking thing. It seems to be nicknamed Starship, although I'm pretty sure that was not an official nickname. I think it may well have been called Juice in service by the crews. Anyway, this has come on the back of the release of two kits of this vehicle, one from AFV Club, one from Dragon, and also follows publication by Sabot of books on the M9 Ace and the M1A2 SEP Abrams. I think they're also going to be following this with books on the M109A6 Paladin and also the multiple launch rocket system. Those books will be due for release, I think, sometime this year. I haven't actually seen the books yet. We're hoping to get copies of those sent over. So when they arrive, we'll take more of a detailed look at those. Tamiya's Type 10 MBT has finally surfaced in 148. The first vehicle to appear from a modern stable in this Tamiya range. Up until now, they've almost universally been focusing on World War II vehicles, so to see a modern vehicle appear. They've gone for routed resistance with the Type 10. It's Japan's modern battle tank and is already in their range in 135th. Luciano Rodriguez has been building this over on the 148th group on Facebook and has kindly allowed me to use some photographs of his build. Detail looks astonishing on this model for something that's so small, so really looking forward to seeing that in the flesh. Hopefully it will be released later in the summer. We can get a look at a real copy of that, so that's great. Moving on to Takom. Takom have got a couple of new releases following on from a King Tiger with a full interior that was released earlier on this month, I believe. They've now released details of a Hanomag Ssj100 and also a G6 Rhino. The Ss100 is a prime mover that many of you will have seen towing V2 rockets during World War II, or certainly images, unless you're very old, images of these machines towing V2 rockets on their rocket trailers. So that's quite an unusual release. Don't know yet what that points to in terms of trailer and other possibilities in that, but certainly to see this prime mover appear in plastic's a welcome release. The G6 Rhino is a fantastic looking vehicle. It's an indigenous South African vehicle armed with a 155mm gun, 6-wheeled beast of a machine. Again, it's good to see this in plastic. There have been kits, or at least one kit in 35th of this machine, so to see this appear like this is certainly welcome, and shows that Takom are able to flex their muscles across different genres and not stick to one subject matter. I think that's certainly welcome from them, and I look forward to seeing that as well. Okay, we've a number of new kits to look at this week. All three of them are from Italeri's range, and all three are reissues. The first one is this one here. This is their new A10 AC Thunderbolt 2. This is a previous release from Italeri. It's a few years old now. They've decided to re-release a bunch of their kits under this Gulf War anniversary moniker. This is just one of two that we'll see today. Essentially it's a great kit, you know, it looks good in the box, it's got fine detail, shape looks okay, it's easy to build, there's plenty going on in the box. The kit offers actually 4 different versions, so not all of them are applicable to the Gulf War. The first 2 are, they're from Desert Storm in '91, both Saudi Arabian based. The second 2 are both Air National Guard, Indiana and Michigan supplied. So you have 2 A10As in here and 2 A10Cs. The instructions call out a number of different modifications around the airframe, aerials, that kind of thing, that define the 2 versions. I'm sure digging a little deeper you'll probably be able to work out exactly what's likely to need to be done to upgrade it to the Charlie model, but certainly from the box you've got the basics to create something I think that'd be quite neat. I like this kit a lot actually. It's nice to see this aircraft in this scale. I know there's an Academy one that's supposed to be pretty good as well. It's got recessed panel lines. The other 2 that are available, one from Haskell, one from Airfix, have both got raised panel lines. So I think this could be quite a neat little project. It doesn't look to be very difficult either, and I think it's probably going to be only a few days to construct to maybe a couple of days to paint, so maybe a nice weekend project. Second kit is also under the Gulf War anniversary banner, and it's this one here, Mirage 2000C. This one offers 3 different versions, 2 French, 1 United Arab Emirates. Again, it's got recessed panel lines and some reasonable detail. Kind of oddly though, it seems to have some very strange panel lines around the nose. The nose cone isn't smooth as you would imagine, and it has some odd panels that sort of sit in here that will need to be dealt with. Not sure why that is, whether they were on the prototype aircraft, but they're certainly not on the production aircraft. That nose cone is smooth, so you're going to need to do some work around that. Whether or not it's got everything that you need for a Gulf War warrior is open to some debate. It does include missiles and centerline tank. Decals are finely printed, cartograph is normal, and the schemes are 2 desert schemes as I mentioned, but also a home-based French scheme. It's in 2-tone blue and grey, so I think you'll have plenty of kind of choice on that. So again, very simple kit, not going to take very long to put together. Certainly not going to take very long to paint either, but beware that you're going to need to put some work into this to bring it up to standard. And finally we have this kit here. This is not a Gulf War kit, this one is just a stock F5E Tiger 2. This one is one of Italeri's older kits in their range. I seem to recall this coming out in the early 80s, and as such exhibits raised panel lines and also some pretty simple breakdown and detail. One of the strangest things about this is that the front cockpit is beautiful, it's really well detailed, it's got a gorgeous seat. The rear cockpit is almost completely bare. They supply a tub and the seat, that's it. Nothing else goes in there. The consoles are completely blank. There's no decals for them. Oddly, on the Deckle Sheet there's also 1 set of seat straps, which I would assume is to decorate the front seat, completely ignoring the rear one. It's like the guy in the back seat is just like been completely forgotten. So a very odd situation with that. It would take some work to bring the rear cockpit up to the levels of the front one. What really sells this kit though is not really the plastic, it's the deckle sheet. The deckle sheet is completely superb. Here it is. This sheet offers 6 different options, 3 Swiss and 3 aggressors in a variety of bright colour schemes. You can see on the back of the box here the colour schemes that are offered. These 3 Swiss aircraft here, they're essentially just a slight change in badges around the nose and also serial numbers. The other 3 aggressors though, they're extremely nice. You've got snipers, sundowners and also a Saints aircraft in a variety of camouflage schemes. I think that's certainly something that will appeal to the casual buyer who may see the kit being worth buying just for this deckle sheet. I certainly think so. Parts in it aren't bad. They're not completely without merit, but certainly it's not up to the standard of kits that you would like to see being released in 2016. But it doesn't have a great deal of competition in this scale, so if you're looking to build a 2-seat F5 Tiger, then this might be currently your only option. Maybe it's about time we had a new generation kit appear of this aircraft in this scale. We've got AFE clubs in 48 scale, which are absolutely superb. Maybe we could do something similar being done in 72nd scale. Just a little update on a couple of projects that I'm doing for work at the moment. You'll have seen now, I hope, in some of the other videos, the stuff up of the 2 F-86 Sabres that I completed. Both of those were built from essentially the Haskell kit, and I managed to make mistakes on both of them. So, deciding that I'd like an accurate one if I could get hold of it, I decided to build a third one. And that's what this is. So, I'm currently working on Academy's kit of this aircraft. I rather like this kit actually, it's rather nice. It fits together really well, it's nicely detailed. Panel line detail on it I think is actually nicer than the Hasegawa one, so really enjoying this build at the moment. I'm probably going to do another Korean War aircraft, but at least I know that the wings are correct on this one, the rear fuselage is correct on this one, I've painted the cockpit in the correct colour, and the markings will be accurate. So with a bit of luck, by the end of this project I should have an accurate F-86 F-30. Let's see. And the second model that I'm working on is this. This is Italeri's reissue of the AMT Tiger Cat. This is a really nice kit. It's kind of its generation. I think this thing came out in the early 90s. It's got nicely recessed panel lines on it, the shape's pretty good. It has some odd problems. Propellers backwards in the kit, which is a strange error. It also will not sit on its wheels. I don't think there's any way that I would be able to weight that down. So what I've done is I've just completely ignored the fact that it's a tail sitter, and I'm gonna build it with its undercarriage on, and then I'm gonna put that. There's a box and a crate that go under the tail, and then it can just kind of sit on that. So that's what I'm planning to do with this. Hopefully it'll be painted in the next sort of week or so in its blue colour scheme. Looks pretty good at the moment, I think. I've riveted this whole thing, used some of the ideas that I laid out in an earlier video. Also, I've re-scribed some of the panel lines just to make them slightly deeper and slightly more defined. So hopefully once this is cleaned up, I can get some paint on this thing and then finish it off. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, like I say. So this is Italeri's reissue of the AMT Tiger Cat, and this is my F-86 Sabre. 2 new models that hopefully will be finished in the next couple of weeks. And finally today we've been treated to a video from Brett Green on Hyperscale. Brett had an early production sample, I guess, of the new F-14 Tomcat from Tamiya. He's had a white box of this with test runners to show what the detail's like. He's created a video with about 60 images. He's also allowed me to use some of these images and his findings in the next edition of Model Airplane, so I look forward to reading that, I hope. From Brett's video, everything that we hoped this kit would be, I think, has come to fruition. Looks to be an extraordinary piece of work, as you would expect from Tamiya. Brett goes into some detail in his video to explain their philosophy and also why they've approached the breakdown of this kit in a certain way. It's no five-part wonder though. We're still talking about 350 parts in this model, so you're going to get plenty for your money. And also, to put one slight issue to bed, the kit will include a full set of weapons. Originally, when details were announced of this kit from Shizuoka earlier on this year, the weapons were planned to be sold as a separate set, but that looks now not to be the case, and certainly the weapons will be included in those in the release of the kit sometime this summer. Markings are already on the Deckle Sheet for all of the stenciling on the Sparrow Sidewinder and Phoenix missiles that will be included in this kit, along with the under fuselage tanks. So if you want to take a look at what this kit looks like, and also what Brett thinks of it, and it's very interesting to see what he thinks of it, hop on over to Hyperscale. You'll find a link on the home page, and that will give you a really good impression of what you can expect when Tamiya's 48 scale F-14 hits the shelves later this month. So there we are, the end of this week's News Desk. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed seeing some of the new kits and some of the new products that are likely to be out in the next couple of months. And I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy your holidays if you're teachers and you're away for the next 6 weeks. And with a bit of luck, I'll see you again this time next week. Until then, take care and see you all very soon. Bye for now.